No matter what your favorite season of My Hero Academia is, I think it's pretty safe to say that My Hero had some pretty great moments. And with the manga wrapping up not too long ago, I think it's safe to say that we won't get any type of sequel or follow-up content. But I also do believe in never say never, so for all the big My Hero fans, you can still catch this work. But that's not the discussion for today's topic, but instead I'd rather talk about the message that My Hero is trying to give us as a viewer. It is true that a lot of fans believe that My Hero felt very underutilized. A lot of fans wanted to see things such as the characters growing up, or maybe having an important character die to make things feel more intensified. But while we didn't get those factors as much as fans wanted, there is still a huge message that My Hero wanted to tell. And that message is that anyone and everyone can be a hero. I know, shocker, right? My hero, crazy, shocker, I get it. But this message that anyone can be a hero is a lot bigger than you can imagine. And it even goes past the power of Deku getting the ability to protect people that he loves. But before I jump into other characters, it's probably best to ease into it by talking about Izuku Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya is the easiest character to point out that you can be a hero without the ability to be a hero. I'm talking about you having to stomach your nerves when it's time to get to work, and plus when it comes to this series, Deku was born without a quirk. In all honesty, they didn't really need to have this character to be quirkless. All it did is put a target on his back, but whatever. Deku embodies that a character can still be a hero even if they don't have the strength to do so. We were first shown this at the beginning of the series when Kacchan was picked up by a goobly glop. And even though there were heroes around him that could have helped, Deku was the one that pushed the front and decided to try to help. And that's pretty admirable, especially when you have a character like All Might that just had a tummy cramp. This is a great way to introduce us to the show's hero and show us why we want to watch his story to be the #1 hero. And even though Deku did have his whole Batman vigilante arc, it didn't last too long. This character shows that you don't have to be the biggest, smartest, strongest, or even the most bravest to get out there and help. Now, what they did to him at the end of the series was actually criminal, but that's not here nor there. So Deku is the most obvious choice that you can still be a hero without having those previous characteristics. But now, let's jump into some other characters that could be seen as a hero that's a little bit more uncharacteristic. Here's another character for you that's in the same class as Izuku Midoriya. Do you remember Jiro? If you don't, that's perfectly fine because I wouldn't blame you. Look at all these dang kids, and that's just one class. I had to go look this up, but Jiro is student number 12 within class 1A. She's the student that's not really there to be a fighter, but she still wants to be a hero. Matter of fact, she had her own little side arc at the same time of another. While Deku was fighting Mr. Circus, we had to focus on her doing a performance with the rest of the class. And if you pay attention to this part, she has a song called Hero 2. Now, just to give you a lowdown about what it is, it's basically Jiro saying that just because she doesn't fight doesn't mean she's not a hero. Those ear jacks she has isn't just for show because she believes she can bring joy to people by using music. And to be completely honest, this part's not too shabby. For those of you who don't want to follow fighting all the time, Jiro brings a breath of fresh air when she follows music instead. But the main purpose of the song is to say that Jiro is a hero as well, even though she doesn't want to fight. That kind of falls back on itself when you see her fighting later on, but whatever. In this regards, Jiro was a hero in another way, and even with her music was able to save Eri from the grasp of Overhaul. I mean, this is a great unconventional way to show that she's a hero, and I kind of wish they did this from other characters. But one other example that I really want to give you that's completely different is the villain Stain. Even though when we first see Stain, he's shown as a villain hero. A character that is portrayed to be a villain because our heroes have to stop him, but when we find out his ideology, it seems that he hates both heroes and villains the same amount. Stain's viewpoint was pretty straightforward that he hates heroes that do it for fame and money, and he also hates villains that do it unnecessarily for violence and bloodshed. And that's a characteristic we should all live by even while looking at other shows. If a hero, villain, or whatever else they are does not have a solid reason as to why they do what they do, then why should we care? For the most part, we wouldn't put Stain in the hero category because he's still bodying people left and right. But it's not hard to see his viewpoint and give him some type of credibility because he would still respect someone like All Might. But in the point of My Hero, they do believe he is some type of hero. His actions may seem villainous, however he does what he does, believing that other characters need to have a reasoning. Now, the 3 characters I named off are still a very low amount of characters that the show believes are heroes. But I believe you get what I'm saying is that anyone can be a hero even if you don't put a cape on. Now hear me out, the question you might be asking is that even the purpose of My Hero in the first place? As we all know, in Her, the beginning of the story was to watch Izuku Midoriya become the #1 hero. However, that lasted for about 2 seconds, and afterwards he lost everything he once had. So while the tale was to see what he went through, I don't believe that was the overall arching goal. Instead, the main focal point was to see how other characters deal with their own issues. And I mean a lot of characters in this show had issues. Do you remember the whole Todoroki family? Endeavor being obsessed with having a half-hot, half-cold son that can be the #1 hero. All because he couldn't do it himself since he was not strong enough. And even when he became the #1 hero, he felt as if he only got that spot because of disqualification. So when Endeavor decided that it's not going to be him, he decided to start shooting the club up. By the way, I really wonder if this is mutual. I have a feeling that it's not. Eventually, after his first son was born, his body wasn't able to keep up with his abilities. And eventually, that kid became Dabi, who had no other purpose except to hate on his dad. Kind of a boring character, I'm not gonna lie. But since this story is only a fraction of My Hero's overall goal, it's pretty obvious that you can say that this has nothing to do with Deku. So instead, it's smarter to believe that My Hero Academia wants to show you what is a true hero. Now let's take a step back and be completely honest here. Even though there's a slew of characters within My Hero, not every character has an importance to the story. Majority of the time we'll maybe get a flashback of something that happened to them in their lives, but that's about it. So your favorite character within My Hero may not have as much character development as you want, but that does not stop the fans, okay? We've talked about this before on this channel, that another group of people found their way to anime through My Hero. And because of this, you can see that many people love to cosplay or even get other merchandise of this series. And look, I can tell you, man, the cosplaying is crazy. I don't usually say things are cringe because I simply don't believe in that, but I mean, dang, you can find anyone cosplaying on My Hero and for some reason you just feel uncomfortable. I was just doing my own research and I even found a My Hero musical with real live people. This was much better with the sound turned off, but overall, having the community support like this is very great for the series. Plus, it will continue on even past the end of My Hero Academia. Now, besides the people that absolutely love My Hero Academia, let me take a step back and talk about the series again. I believe that the overall message of My Hero is that anyone and everyone can be a hero. The title hero is simply not restricted to you having strong physical abilities and just saving somebody. While many characters that we see throughout the series simply follows this concept, it is true that that's not for everyone. And also they want to show that the term hero can be very foggy sometimes. While a character like Endeavor may be considered a hero, it doesn't mean that he's saving everyone. And again, within his own story, he causes a lot more harm within his own family. Now, towards the end of the series, they try to give everyone a happy and exclusive ending. For example, characters such as Kaminari or Jiro give out music, and that is their form of being a hero. Kinda wish they never had a fight to begin with, but it really doesn't matter. The only thing that would have been better is if My Hero showed every character working towards their happy ending. And while we're at it, a character like Deku didn't even get a happy ending. I'm sorry, but him losing contact to a lot of his friends for many years doesn't really sound like a good story. It was inevitable that at some point he was going to be quirkless again. But did they have to do him so dirty? I don't know, maybe on the other hand, he did become a hero because he did technically save the world. It just sucks that majority of the world does not care about him as much as you would like. So to answer the main question, what is a hero? Well, that answer is very vague. But I do believe that My Hero is telling us that everyone can be a hero. No one within the series is born to be a villain, instead the circumstances make them that way. But anyway, that is My Hero Academia, and I really want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. And also for all those giving support and want to give support, I greatly appreciate it. But for now, if you're looking for more My Hero content, I have another banger for you over there. So I'll catch you all over there. Until next time, peace.